What if the most dangerous man in the room is the one who says nothing at all? What if the force that could truly reshape your reality, the power you've been desperately seeking, isn't found in shouting louder but in falling silent? We live in a world that screams for your attention. A world of noise, of digital static, of endless opinions and hollow declarations. You've been told that to get ahead, you have to be loud. You have to network, self-promote, make your voice heard above the cacophony. And so you've tried. You've played the game. You've spoken up in meetings. You've plastered your ambitions across social media. You've talked and talked and talked about the man you want to become. You've explained your plans, debated your critics, and exhausted yourself trying to convince the world of your value. But what has it gotten you? Take a brutally honest look. Does your effort equal your results? Do you feel powerful or just tired? Do you command respect or just occupy space with sound? For so many, the answer is a quiet, frustrating no. You feel like a ghost in the machine of your own life, screaming into a void where the only echo is the sound of your own strained voice. You are overlooked, underestimated, and perpetually stuck in a state of becoming, never arriving. The immense potential you feel coiled inside you, that roaring lion in your soul, feels trapped, and the world just hears the frantic squeaking of a mouse on a wheel. You are drowning in the static of 1,000 pointless conversations, and your true self is suffocating under the weight of it all. This is the curse of the modern man, loud on the outside but hollow on the inside, constantly broadcasting but never truly connecting. But what if there is another way? A path that is counterintuitive, ancient, and devastatingly effective? What if I told you that by embracing stillness, by choosing your moments of silence with strategic intent, you could become not just heard but felt, not just noticed, but respected on a level that makes demands and boasts unnecessary? This isn't about being a passive observer. This is not about shyness or fear. This is about forging your silence into a weapon. It's about learning the quiet man's gambit, the art of sacrificing the ego's desperate need for noise in exchange for true, undeniable power. Today, you will learn how to turn your stillness into a shield that protects your energy, a tool that gathers hidden information, and a crucible that forges your will into disciplined, unstoppable action. You will learn to make your presence so potent that your silence speaks volumes, and your rare words land with the force of a thunderclap. We are going to dismantle the noisy, ineffective persona you've been taught to perform and rebuild you, from the inside out, as a man of quiet confidence, profound strength, and terrifying potential. This is the path to becoming unrecognizable, not by changing your volume, but by changing the very substance of your being. Let's start with a truth that will immediately shift your perspective, a piece of wisdom that is the first key to unlocking this power. The world operates on an economy of attention, but what most people fail to realize is that it also operates on an economy of words. Think about it. The person who never stops talking, who offers an opinion on everything, who fills every available space with chatter. What is the value of their words? It's practically zero. Their words are cheap, abundant, and ultimately disposable. They are the background noise the world has learned to filter out. You listen, you nod, but you don't truly hear. Their constant talking is a sign of insecurity, a desperate plea for validation, a nervous habit that bleeds power and authority with every syllable. Now contrast that with the man who is comfortable in his own silence. He sits in a meeting, observing, listening, his expression calm and unreadable. He doesn't jump into every debate. He doesn't need to hear himself speak. He is a closed loop of energy radiating composure. The room is filled with chatter, with frantic energy, with people vying to prove their worth through volume. But then a moment comes, a critical juncture, and the quiet man leans forward slightly and speaks. What happens in that moment? The entire room falls silent. Everyone leans in, Every word he utters is absorbed, analyzed, and given immense weight. Why? Because his words are scarce. They are a rare commodity. He has created value through restraint. His silence acted as a frame, making the eventual picture he painted with his words more vivid, more impactful, more significant. He didn't just add to the noise, he cut through it. This is the first win, the first fundamental principle you must grasp. Your words gain power in direct proportion to how sparingly you use them. By speaking less, you are not surrendering the floor, you are taking control of it. You are forcing the world to adjust to your frequency, not the other way around. Starting today, see your words as currency. Stop spending them recklessly on trivial matters. Save them for the moments that count. This simple shift alone will begin to alter how people perceive you, how they respond to you, and ultimately, how much power you command in any given environment. You will start to feel a new kind of gravity pulling people towards your presence, all because you learned the value of holding something back. This is just the first layer. This gambit goes so much deeper. The strategic use of silence isn't just a communication tactic. It is a complete philosophy for life, a way to reforge your entire being. Let's start with the first pillar, stillness as an information weapon. The loud man is a broadcaster. He is constantly transmitting information, his opinions, his feelings, his intentions, his weaknesses. He is an open book, and in any conflict, whether in the boardroom or in life, an open book is easily defeated. He walks into a room and immediately starts talking, desperate to establish his presence. In doing so, he reveals his hand before the game has even begun. He tells you what he wants, what he fears, what he thinks he knows. He is so focused on his own transmission that he fails to receive any signals at all. The quiet man, on the other hand, is a receiver. He understands that true power doesn't come from what you broadcast, but from what you absorb. When you are silent, you are not empty. You are open. Your senses sharpen. You cease to be a participant in the chaotic dance and become an observer of it. You start to see the things everyone else misses. You see the subtle flicker of doubt in someone's eyes when they make a bold claim. You hear the hesitation in their voice that betrays their confident words. You notice the alliances and tensions in a room, the unspoken currents of power flowing between people. You become a student of human nature. Think of a predator in the wild. A lion does not roar and announce its presence before a hunt. It becomes one with the landscape. It is still. It watches. It studies the movements of the herd, identifies the weakest link, calculates the precise moment to strike for maximum effect with minimum expenditure of energy. Its silence is not passivity. It is a state of heightened awareness and lethal focus. This is the state you must cultivate. In your next conversation, your next meeting, your next social gathering, make a conscious choice to be the observer. Hold back your immediate impulse to speak, to react, to offer your opinion. Instead, just listen. But listen with your whole being. Listen to what is being said, but more importantly, listen to what is not being said. Watch body language. Is it congruent with the words being spoken? Watch the dynamics. Who defers to whom? Who interrupts whom? Who is trying too hard to be liked? By doing this, you are gathering intelligence. You are mapping the battlefield. The frantic talker is stumbling through the dark, bumping into furniture, making a racket. You are standing in the corner, silent, your eyes adjusted to the low light, seeing the entire layout of the room. When you finally choose to move, to speak, your action will be precise, informed, and effective. You will address the core of the issue, not the surface-level noise. You will speak to the unspoken fear or desire in the room, shocking people with your perception. They will wonder, how did he know that? They will see you as insightful, wise, almost clairvoyant. But it isn't magic. It's the simple, profound result of shutting up and paying attention. You let others reveal their strategies, their weaknesses, their entire psychological profile, all while you reveal nothing. You maintain a strategic ambiguity that makes you unreadable, unpredictable and therefore formidable. Your stillness becomes a one-way mirror. You see out, but no one can see in. This is a fundamental asymmetry of power, and you can claim it simply by mastering the art of being quiet. This leads us to the second pillar of the quiet man's gambit: silence as a shield. The world is not just noisy, it is invasive. People will constantly try to drain your energy, impose their dramas upon you, and infect you with their own limitations and negativity. Unsolicited advice, gossip, complaining, pointless arguments. These are the weapons of the mediocre, designed to pull you down to their level. The man who talks too much has no defenses. His mouth is an open wound, and his mind is an unguarded gate. Every piece of negativity finds a way in because he is constantly engaged with it. He feels compelled to respond to every criticism, to correct every misconception, to participate in every drama. He argues with strangers on the internet. He gets drawn into workplace gossip. He lets the anxieties of others become his own. His energy, that precious, finite resource required for building his empire, for honing his craft, for disciplining his body and mind, is squandered on 1,000 meaningless skirmishes. He is fighting everyone else's battles, leaving him with no strength to fight his own. Silence is your fortress. It is the wall you build around your mind, your energy, and your focus. When you choose not to engage, you are not being rude, you are being strategic. You are declaring that your internal state is more important than their external noise. When someone baits you with an insult, your silence is not weakness. It is a demonstration of unshakable self-control. It says, "Your words have no power here. My peace is not for sale." You refuse to let their poison enter your system. When someone tries to drag you into a vortex of gossip or complaint, your quiet, non-committal presence starves the conversation of the oxygen it needs to survive. You don't have to argue or preach. You simply refuse to participate. You become a black hole for negativity. It comes towards you and simply vanishes. Think of the immense energy you will conserve. The hours spent in pointless arguments, the mental real estate occupied by other people's dramas. Imagine reclaiming all of that and channeling it into your purpose, into your work, into your training, into your reading, into your own self-development. This is what silence affords you. It protects your most valuable asset, your focused attention. Furthermore, silence shields your ambitions. The moment you announce a great goal to the world, you invite an army of critics, doubters, and saboteurs. You create pressure on yourself. You give people a benchmark against which to measure your failures. The world is full of people who have achieved nothing but who are experts on why your great plan won't work. They will project their own fears and failures onto you. That's too risky. Are you sure you're qualified? You know, most people who try that fail. The quiet man understands this. He works in the dark. He builds his empire in silence. He doesn't talk about the 500 push-ups he's going to do, he just does them. He doesn't announce the business he's going to build, he just builds it. He doesn't boast about the book he's going to write, he just writes it. He lets his results be the announcement. When the work is finally done, when the empire is built, when the victory is secured, he lets the outcome speak for itself. Its voice is deafening and cannot be argued with. Success is the best refutation of doubt. Embrace this principle. Stop broadcasting your plans. Let your ambition be a sacred secret between you and yourself. Nurture it in the quiet incubator of your own mind, away from the polluting influence of the crowd. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you are doing nothing. Their ignorance is your strategic advantage. While they are all talking about what they are going to do, you will be the one who has already done it. Your silence is the ultimate shield, protecting your energy, your focus, and the sacred gestation of your greatest work. Now we arrive at the heart of the matter, the engine that drives this entire transformation. The third pillar, action as your true voice. For the quiet man, silence is not the end goal. It is the means. It is the fertile ground from which powerful, decisive action grows. Talk is the enemy of doing. It is a cheap substitute, a counterfeit form of progress. How many times have you or people you know talked a great idea to death? The initial spark of excitement is dissipated in endless conversation, planning, and seeking of opinions, until the energy is gone and the idea withers on the vine. Telling someone your goal can create a premature sense of completion in the brain. It can release a small hit of dopamine, the same chemical reward you get from actually achieving the goal. You get the social validation, the pat on the back, without having done any of the hard work. This is a psychological trap, and it is the quicksand where millions of dreams go to die. You become addicted to the approval you get from talking, and you lose the hunger required for executing. The quiet man's gambit is a complete rejection of this trap. It is a vow to speak not with your lips, but with your actions. It is a commitment to the monastic discipline of work. The quiet man understands that a plan is just a rumor until it is executed. A goal is just a wish until it is achieved. He channels all the energy that others waste on broadcasting their intentions into the relentless, focused, daily grind of making those intentions a reality. His life becomes his argument. He wants to be strong. He doesn't talk about going to the gym. His physique becomes the conversation. He wants to be wealthy. He doesn't boast about his investment ideas. His portfolio becomes the statement. He wants to be wise. He doesn't quote philosophers. His calm, measured decisions and the quality of his life become the lesson. This creates a profound shift in your identity. You stop being the man who is trying to, and you become the man who is. You are no longer defined by your potential, but by your reality. This is the ultimate source of self-respect. You are not lying to yourself. You are not performing for others. You are building something real brick by silent brick. This requires a radical commitment to what is often called deep work. It means carving out sacred blocks of time where you are completely disconnected from the world of noise. No phone, no email, no social media, no distractions. Just you and the task at hand. In these periods of intense, silent focus, you will achieve more in 2 hours than the noisy man achieves in 2 days of scattered, interrupted effort. The silence is not just external, it is internal. It is the quieting of the monkey mind, the taming of the impulse to seek distraction. It is a meditative state of pure creation and execution. This is where you become unrecognizable. While others are scrolling, you are studying. While they are gossiping, you are building. While they are complaining, you are solving. Every hour you invest in silent, focused action is a step away from mediocrity and a step towards mastery. People will notice the change, not because you announce it, but because the results will be undeniable. They will see a new intensity in your eyes, a new purpose in your stride. They will see the tangible fruits of your labor, and they will be forced to reevaluate who you are. The man they thought they knew, the one who was all talk, has vanished. In his place is a man of substance, a man whose actions echo with a power that no words could ever capture. Let your work make the noise. Let your success be the sermon. Let the life you build be the only statement you ever need to make. This brings us to a more subtle but equally powerful dimension of this philosophy, the psychology of presence. The fourth pillar is about understanding how your quiet, composed demeanor fundamentally alters the way the world interacts with you. Power is not just about what you do, it's about how you are. It's about the energy you project into a room before you've even spoken a word. The person who is nervous, insecure, and desperate for approval exudes a chaotic, needy energy. They talk quickly, they fidget, they seek constant eye contact for validation. Their presence is jarring and weak. They repel power because they are so obviously lacking it. They make others uncomfortable because their own discomfort is so palpable. The quiet man, the man who has mastered his inner world, projects an aura of unshakable calm. This is the Stoic ideal of apatheia not apathy or a lack of caring, but a state of being undisturbed by the chaos of the external world. His movements are deliberate and unhurried. His posture is relaxed but strong. His eye contact is steady and direct, not seeking approval, but offering a window into a mind that is at peace with itself. This stillness is magnetic. It is also deeply unnerving to the insecure. When someone who relies on bluster and intimidation confronts a man who is completely still and unfazed, their power evaporates. Their shouting becomes a childish tantrum against a mountain. The quiet man's refusal to be drawn into their emotional storm is the ultimate checkmate. He wins the confrontation by refusing to participate in it on their terms. He maintains his frame, and they are forced to either enter it or retreat. To the strong and the confident, this quiet presence is a sign of an equal. It signals self-mastery. It communicates that you are a man who does not need external validation because you have cultivated it from within. Respect is given freely, not because you demanded it, but because your very being commands it. People will want to be around you. They will feel calmer in your presence. They will seek your counsel, not because you offer it freely, but precisely because you don't. They will sense that behind your silence lies a depth of thought and a wellspring of inner strength. You can begin to cultivate this presence today. Practice moving with more intention. Slow down. When you walk, just walk. Don't rush frantically from one place to another. When you sit, be still. Resist the urge to fidget, to check your phone, to distract yourself from the present moment. Practice holding a calm, neutral facial expression. This is not about being cold or emotionless. It is about being the master of your emotional expression, not its slave. Pay attention to your breathing. In any stressful situation, the first thing to go is controlled breathing. By consciously maintaining a slow, deep, diaphragmatic breath, you can hijack your own nervous system. You can remain calm and centered while everyone around you is panicking. The man who can control his breath in a crisis is the man who will lead. Your presence is the physical manifestation of your inner state. By cultivating inner stillness, you will inevitably project outer calm. This calm is not weakness. It is the ultimate expression of contained power. It is the quiet confidence of a man who knows his own worth, who is master of his own soul, and who does not need to make a sound to prove it. We have explored the external applications of the quiet man's gambit, how it shapes your interactions with the world. But now, we must turn inward to the most critical battlefield of all. Because the loudest, most persistent, and most destructive noise you will ever face does not come from the outside world. It comes from the inside. It comes from the relentless chatter of your own mind. So let's recap where we are before we descend into this final, most important arena. We have established that your words gain power through scarcity. We have uncovered how stillness is a weapon for gathering information, allowing you to see what others miss. We have seen how silence acts as a fortress, shielding your precious energy and focus from the draining negativity of the world. We have dedicated ourselves to the principle of action as our true voice, letting our results speak for us. And we have understood how a quiet, composed presence commands respect and projects an aura of unshakable power. But all of it, is built on a single foundation: victory in the war against your own mind. If you are quiet on the outside, but your mind is a raging tempest of anxiety, self-doubt, and negativity, then your silence is a fraud. It's a hollow performance. The true gambit, the ultimate sacrifice for ultimate power, is conquering that inner chaos. Mastering this mental warfare is what separates the man who is merely acting quiet from the man who truly is still, all the way to his core. This is the final frontier, and conquering it will make you truly, fundamentally, and permanently unrecognizable. This is the fifth and most profound pillar, mastering the mental warfare against your inner critic. Who is this voice? It is the ghost in your own machine, the saboteur who lives in your head. It's the voice that whispers, "You're not good enough." It's the one that replays your past mistakes on an endless loop. It's the one that catastrophizes about the future, painting vivid pictures of failure and humiliation. It is the source of your anxiety, your overthinking, your procrastination, your self-sabotage. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners of this voice. They believe it. They identify with it. They think its fearful critical monologue is asterisk them. And so they are in a constant state of inner conflict, a civil war raging within their own skull. This internal noise is infinitely more exhausting than any external distraction. It paralyzes you. It drains your will to act. It makes any attempt at outer silence feel like a lie because the inner volume is cranked to maximum. The first step in this war is not to fight the voice. You cannot defeat it with force. Trying to argue with it, to suppress it, just gives it more energy, more power. It's like trying to wrestle with a shadow. You will only exhaust yourself. The first step is to create separation. It is the Stoic and Buddhist practice of observation. You must realize that you are not the voice. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the awareness, the consciousness that is witnessing these thoughts. This is a revolutionary shift in perspective. The voice is not you. It is a conditioned pattern of thinking, a storm of mental weather passing through the sky of your consciousness. You are the sky, not the storm. Practice this. Sit in silence for just 10 minutes and simply listen to the thoughts that arise. Don't judge them, don't engage with them, don't try to stop them, just label them. There is a thought of worry. There is a thought of self-criticism. There is a planning thought. See them as clouds passing by. Some are dark and stormy, some are light and fluffy, but they are all just passing through. They are not you. By doing this consistently, you begin to diffuse the power of the inner critic. You take away its authority. When it pipes up with "you're going to fail," instead of spiraling into despair, you can simply observe. The mind is generating a thought of failure. Interesting. You see it for what it is, not a prophecy but a conditioned, meaningless piece of mental noise. You greet it not with fear but with a detached, almost scientific curiosity. This is the foundation of mental toughness. It's not about having no negative thoughts. It's about not being controlled by them. It's about creating a space of inner silence, a calm center in the eye of the mental hurricane. From this space, you can choose which thoughts to engage with and which to let go. The second phase of this internal war is to actively starve the inner critic. This voice feeds on certain things. It feeds on ambiguity. It feeds on inaction. It feeds on comparison. You must strategically cut off its food supply. The critic thrives in the void of inaction. When you are sitting around, overthinking and hesitating, the voice has a playground. It can run wild with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. The ultimate antidote to this is decisive action, however small. The voice says, "You can't build a business." Your response is not to argue with it. Your response is to spend 1 hour in silence researching your first step. Action is like a bright light that makes the shadows of the mind recede. The physical act of doing proves the mental voice of doubt wrong. Each small step you take, each task you complete, is a vote of confidence in your own ability, and it silences the critic more effectively than any internal argument. The critic also feeds on comparison. When you scroll through social media, when you look at the curated highlight reels of other people's lives, you are handing the inner critic a feast. It will immediately start whispering, "See, he's more successful than you. She's in better shape. You're so far behind." You must be ruthless in cutting this out of your life. Unfollow accounts that trigger this comparison. Limit your exposure to the performance of others and double down on your own process. The quiet man is not in competition with anyone except the man he was yesterday. His gaze is fixed on his own path, not darting nervously from side to see how he measures up. This focus starves the critic of its favorite fuel. Finally, you must build what Marcus Aurelius called the inner citadel. This is a fortress of reason, virtue, and self-worth inside your mind that is impregnable to the assaults of both the external world and your own internal demons. You build this citadel brick by brick, with your philosophy, with your values, with your self-respect earned through disciplined action. You build it by consciously choosing what you feed your mind. Just as you wouldn't build a strong body on a diet of junk food, you cannot build a strong mind on a diet of mental junk food, gossip, outrage media, mindless entertainment. You must feed it with wisdom, with the words of the great thinkers, with knowledge that empowers you, with reflections on your own principles. Reading the Stoics, for example, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, is not an academic exercise. It is forging the steel of your inner citadel. Their words are timeless blueprints for building an unshakable mind. When the inner critic attacks, you retreat to this citadel. You remind yourself of your principles. You remind yourself of the progress you have made. You remind yourself that your worth is not determined by a fleeting thought or an external outcome, but by your character, by your commitment to your path. This inner work is the most difficult and the most crucial part of the journey. It is a lifelong practice. There will be days when the noise is louder. There will be days when the critic seems to win a battle. But by committing to the path of observation, of starving the negativity, and of building your inner citadel, you will win the war. You will achieve a state of inner peace and stillness that is the true source of all power. Your outer silence will no longer be a performance. It will be a genuine reflection of the profound quiet you have cultivated within. This is the ultimate gambit, sacrificing the noisy, chaotic ego to gain the kingdom of your own mind. And from that kingdom, you can achieve anything. Let's pull all the threads together now and see the complete tapestry of the quiet man's gambit. It is a holistic system for personal transformation, moving from the outside in, and then from the inside out. It begins with the simple, tactical decision to speak less and listen more, instantly increasing the value of your words and turning you into a master of information. This leads you to build a shield of silence, protecting your invaluable energy and focus from the draining forces of the world, allowing you to incubate your ambitions in secret. This conserved energy is then channeled into the furnace of disciplined action, where your work becomes your voice, and your results become your irrefutable argument. This consistent, focused action, combined with a mastery of your own inner state, cultivates a powerful, magnetic presence, an aura of calm and control that commands respect without ever having to ask for it. And all of this is built upon the bedrock of inner mental warfare, the daily practice of observing your thoughts, starving your inner critic, and building an impregnable inner citadel of self-worth and reason. It is a path of subtraction, not addition. It is not about learning a new clever phrase to say. It is about unlearning the need to speak at all. It is not about adding more tasks to your to-do list. It is about subtracting all the noise that keeps you from focusing on the one task that matters. The gambit in chess is a sacrifice made at the beginning of the game to gain a more advantageous position. The quiet man's gambit is precisely this. You are making a sacrifice. You are sacrificing the ego's delicious, addictive craving for attention. You are sacrificing the short-term pleasure of being heard for the long-term power of being respected. You are sacrificing the validation of the crowd for the unshakable self-respect that comes from silent, disciplined self-mastery. This is not an easy path. The world will tempt you back into the noise. Your old habits will scream for attention. The ego will die a slow, painful death, and it will not go quietly. It will tell you that you are being forgotten, that you are becoming irrelevant, that this silence is weakness. You must see these for what they are, the last desperate gasps of the mediocre self you are leaving behind. To walk this path is to choose the difficult road, the one less traveled. It is to choose substance over image, character over personality, action over words. It is to embark on the ultimate hero's journey, not one that takes you to a faraway land, but one that takes you into the deepest, quietest chambers of your own soul. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you truly sat in complete, uninterrupted silence, with no phone, no music, no podcast, no book? When was the last time you just listened? Not to anything in particular, but to the subtle sounds of the world around you, and more importantly, to the even more subtle stirrings of your own heart and mind. In our world, this simple act has become a radical one. And yet, it is in this radical act of stillness that the seeds of true transformation are planted. This is the challenge. This is the call to adventure. It is an invitation to stop being a reactor to the world's chaos and to start being the creator of your own calm, powerful reality. It's an invitation to become the quiet man in the room, the man who sees everything, who is protected from all harm, whose actions shake the foundations of the world, and whose mind is a fortress of peace. The man whose silence is his most devastating weapon. The world is addicted to noise. It is a frantic, desperate, and ultimately empty addiction. It begs you to participate, to scream your opinion, to add your voice to the meaningless chorus of the lost and the distracted. But the path to the man you were born to be, the path to dangerous power, to unleashing your true potential, lies in the opposite direction. It is found in the quiet discipline, the silent execution, the profound and unshakable strength of stillness. This journey of radical transformation begins with a single choice. The choice to close your mouth and open your eyes. The choice to value action over assertion. The choice to conquer the noise within before you try to command the world without. The question is no longer whether this path works. History and the lives of the wisest, most effective men who have ever lived are a testament to its power. The only question that remains, the one that you must answer in the quiet of your own heart, is this: are you willing to walk it? What is the first noisy habit, the first pointless conversation, the first energy-draining engagement that you will sacrifice, starting today, in the name of your own rebirth? The answer to that question will determine everything.